All right, folks, welcome back. Afternoon Drive with Drew Moholland. Hope everybody's doing okay. I've shifted our angle a little bit because I'm doing it a little. Man, it's getting dark early out here. I know you've all noticed that. Start a fire. That makes it a little bit better. If you have a fireplace, I'm doing that this year. That's my thing. I'm starting the fire. It's like my quarantine keep me busy thing. I've decided I'm going to start using the fireplace a little bit more. So I'm getting really good at tending to the fire. That's my ideal. Anyways, 1 week away now from Thanksgiving, exactly a week away. I know so many families struggling with what to do, making their plans. I know my family is still having all sorts of talks about what's the right thing to do and all that. With social distancing, the name of the game. I wish you all the best trying to figure that out. I know these are tough talks, tough things, not being able to see your family. A lot of people are ultimately going to have to make that decision. You know what else is tough? No high school football for the high school football kids. And that's what we're going to turn to right now. I'm pretty much going to bring in all the captains and even some past captains of the Newburyport football team right now. I think it's going to be the most guests I've ever had on this show at once. Could be chaos. Who knows how it will work out. But that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to bring in the Newburyport guys. No football. I mean, some people would rather have high school football than turkey on Thanksgiving. And it's going to be weird not having high school football. It's a tradition in Massachusetts to have high school football, play those morning games, and then get out there. But not going to happen. It's been a tough year for these kids in general, not being able to get out there. There are a lot of sports being played here in the fall, but football is one of the ones they said no to. Obviously, it's a sport you can't really social distance from. So it's been tough on these guys. We're going to bring them in right now, some of the captains of this year's team, even some past players. So this should be fun. Let's do it. All right, welcome back live at Drew's house, another edition. Well, this is fun. We got a full cast, a bunch of football guys on from Newburyport, past and present. Let's start out with, I'm not the only old guy on the show. Let's start out with Brian Tulin here. Brian, wave so everybody can know which one's you. There you go. Oh. Brian, you're in the hat. College life, where are you coming to us from?
University of Maine in Orono, from my homemade desk.
Homemade desk?
In a closet.
What is pandemic life out there like in college up in Maine?
It's pretty boring, to be honest. It's not as fun as it probably was last year, but
what is the are you guys full,
probably the same as everybody else, just staying indoors?
Are you guys full remote mode right now, or are you hybrid? What's the deal?
Yeah, it's pretty much full remote. There's like some people are allowed on classes for labs and such, but I'm taking all my classes online. Pretty much every day is taken up by that.
All right, very good. Well, Brian, you obviously you're having college life interrupted. These guys, we got joined here. We are 1 week from Thanksgiving, what would be the football game. Life, of course, has been turned upside down. You guys have had no football, one of those sports you can't really social distance from. I know it's been, it's probably been brutal on your guys. Tell me about it. Let's start with Trevor Ward. Trevor, wave, say hello, take it away. How tough has this year been?
Obviously, this year's been pretty tough for a number of reasons. But just with football, we've been playing, like Jason and John, we've both been playing since third grade. So we've just been kind of used to the fall grind, and then in high school playing on Thanksgiving. We were really excited to play this year and everything that came with it. So it's kind of disappointing not having that, but hopefully in fall too, we'll have something.
John, how about probably similar statements, I would imagine, but what's it been like for you?
Yeah, it's completely flipped upside down. But with like the new rules, new changes to seasons, me and Trevor actually tried out for the soccer team this year. Split the Cape Ann League championship.
No kidding. So you decided, you know what, we can't play football. We better try to put our athletic ability into something else?
Yep. 4-sport varsity athletes.
4-sport varsity athletes. That's fantastic. So that already happened. Wait, how'd you finish, you said?
We split the Cal 3 ways with Pentucket and Linfield.
So you get some hardware for your efforts. There you go. Good for you.
Yep.
Let's go to Jason now. Jason Tamayashi. Jason, actually all you guys are past guests on the show, so this is good. A lot of familiar faces. But Jason, what has 2020 been like? I mean, I know you guys live and breathe football. This is tough, I know.
Yeah, it's just been weird because this would have been like our 10th, as Trev was saying, all three of us have been playing since third grade. So I think this would have been our 10th season. So it's just like, it's hard to get used to having so much free time during the fall. Obviously, they chose to go play soccer, which I would be absolutely awful at because I've like barely touched a soccer ball in my life. So I actually just kept on working the job that I had through the summer. But yeah, it's weird having so much free time during this time of the year because you're always used to those sights and smells and you associate them with football. So it's just kind of just annoying.
Annoying is probably a good word for it. You have a great wave behind you, though. That's a fantastic painting behind you. What is that?
Oh yeah, I'm in my brother's room. This is it. We kind of converted it into a study, like an office for school. So yeah,
This is where we go to get the work done.
yeah. This is the school room right now.
Excellent.
Doesn't do no work.
Brian's like, I know about those makeshift rooms. Brian Tulin, again, at the University of Maine, you had a let's start with, I don't want to make this too depressing, but we'll start with the moment of obviously the Thanksgiving football game means a lot to so many football players. I know you guys are going to miss it. Sorry, the dogs make appearances sometimes. Yeah, obviously the Thanksgiving football game means so much to so many. First of all, Brian, now that you've had a few years to sit back and look back at that, is that one of your top memories, waking up for Thanksgiving football? And my second part of that question is going to be, what would you say to these guys? Because you've also had kind of a few years to be an adult and look back on those high school years. And what would be the best advice for these guys who are going to miss out on that game?
Well, Thanksgiving Day football game, obviously, I mean, I don't have to tell these guys, like, it's definitely the biggest game of the year. I mean, 2,000 people show up for that game. Stadium's packed. Old people are getting drunk before the game. It's a great time. But, like, I would say, honestly, have fun. You know, you got to do sports. I mean, if y'all are four-sport athletes, I heard that flex. I definitely take up with sports and put all you can into those sports, but it's your senior year, man. Have some fun. It's going to be high school is going to be over soon. And, you know,
it can still be fun.
Right.
I mean, I love that. I do love that story of taking up a whole nother sport that you actually can play. I mean, I think that's a great example of, making lemonade out of lemons. I actually haven't heard too many stories like that. Are more people doing that, or was that kind of unique?
There was a couple of the kids who tried out. Finn Sullivan was also another football kid who tried out for the team.
Okay.
And I know there are a lot of soccer kids who are actually planning on trying out for the football season.
Really? All right. And what is the plan, Trevor? I'll let you take this one. What is the plan as far as this like hybrid whatever football season that they're trying to put together?
So as of right now, football got moved to the fall 2 season, which is February 22nd to mid-April, I believe.
Sounds
I'm
about right.
wrong, but so it'll be right after the winter season, and then probably a week after the fall 2 season ends, the spring season is. So there's not really as much of a break as there normally would be, but yeah, I think so far football and there were maybe 2 other sports that got pushed to fall 2 maybe. I'm not
Okay.
really sure though.
Jason, we talked a little bit, you had mentioned, and that kind of stuck out with me about there is something too, just those fall Friday nights, like there's a certain smell, there's a certain, whatever that is that makes just, that there's football in the air. And how tough has that been through all this to kind of be missing that? I see you wearing your senior shirt, actually. That just caught my eye right now. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it's been tough, just like going through like day-to-day life and seeing the stuff that you associate with football. Because, I mean, as I said before, we've been playing for, 10 years now. So you see those leaves changing color, and it's like, oh, it's time to play football, right? And it starts to get really cold in the morning, still warm in the afternoons in like September and early October. And that's just like, in my mind, I just associate that with football. So I guess now that we have football during the winter, we're going to have to associate it with like snowballs and snowstorms and all that. So I guess that's just how it changes. You go with the flow.
we asked Brian a little bit about college life in a pandemic, and there he is in his makeshift little study there. Lots of studying being done, I can already tell. John Donovan, let me ask you, what has life been in the high school hallways? Is it? I know you guys are doing a hybrid in Newburyport, right?
Yeah, so we're doing a hybrid with the option to do fully remote. As of right now, I'm fully remote, so it's just kind of like, you can't see it right now, but I just have a huge desk right now cluttered with like notebooks over here for physics class, like another notebook over here for calculus class, and it's just kind of like organized chaos, you could say.
It would be pretty funny if he had absolutely nothing there, but was just telling us he had all these books and everything. That would be great. Trevor, how about you? What has life been? Are you doing the hybrid version, or how are you doing it?
Yeah, I'm also doing the hybrid version. Some of my friends, just because of fall sports, they didn't want to have to quarantine or anything, just in case someone in their class had tested positive. So they opted out until past Thanksgiving. But I've been going hybrid with my sisters, and it's just a little weird. I probably have the same feelings as John. We're in a lot of the same classes, and I don't know. Some of the classes it's nice to be in school for, but other ones it's kind of nice just being at the comfort of your own home.
Yeah, actually, if I remember, Trevor, you had some athletic. Is it one sister or two? You had more athletes in the family, right?
Yeah, I have two sisters. Yeah, my younger one, I think she's been on the show for basketball.
How are they dealing with this?
Pretty much the same as me. We always in between classes, we'll go out in the kitchen or whatever for 10 minutes or whatever the break is, and then go right back to doing work.
Is it better to have siblings, or do you want to, kind of go crazy at each other by the time this thing's over?
I think now it's better to have siblings, just because I think I'd probably go insane if I was at home like all by myself this whole time.
Yeah. Are any of you guys at home all by yourself? John and Jason are like, yeah, we're going crazy.
Well, both my parents are doing like work from home too, so I see them a lot. So it's not that bad. But I'd imagine if I was alone, I'd feel pretty insane.
Good sneak in there, Jason. Shout out to the parents. They're going to appreciate that one. Well played.
Yeah.
How about you, John?
I'm not alone. I got 3 other siblings. I got a little brother's in the high school who's still staying on remote. My older sister, she graduated college, but she works at the high school. And then I have an older brother who's still in college, and he's fully remote as well.
Gotcha. All right, cool. And Brian, what's who can you see up there in Maine? I know it's a different state, and I think sometimes people think of Maine as being a little bit more spacious and maybe a little bit looser on the rules. But I mean, can college kids still hang out with college kids, or what are the guidelines up there?
Well, so basically, like, if you get caught throwing a party, you get expelled. So,
Wow.
like,
Okay.
yeah, it's pretty, like, there's no lax on that rule, which is pretty crazy. But, I mean, you're allowed to have up to 10 people, which is tough because I live with 7 people. So, I already am close to that number. But, no, people are still hanging out and stuff. Like, it's just not as much as you would normally see at this time of the year. But, we work around it. We still have fun. It's all about adaptation,
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. You want to have a party with all your roommates. 2 of you can bring 1 friend. Go.
Yeah, right. I know. It's a bad ratio, fellas.
That's true. Yes. College life in general. I mean, Maine has great hockey. They have all sorts of sports. It must be kind of weird. I'm just trying to think back to my college experience. That's what we used to do. Friday night, we'd go to a hockey game or whatever.
Yeah, and the bars are pretty empty too, which is tough. I was gonna get a job at one of the bars to make some money, but you can't even make money right now, just because nobody's going out. But I live off campus and I live in a house, so luckily it gives me a little leeway to bend the rules a little bit, but I don't want to incriminate myself.
Would they get? So that's not even an on-campus rule, though. I mean, if you have a party with
it's everywhere. It's everywhere. I don't even live in the town that the campus is on, but if they catch you, apparently, like anywhere in the surrounding area, it's I think even if you were living back home, like I don't know if the school would ever find out, but it's pretty strict. It's crazy.
Wow, look at the college life there. So you're not even near the campus, but if you get caught by police with, too big of a party, or even too big of a, let's not call it a party.
Gathering, Yeah. It's tough, but yeah.
That's crazy. Trevor, why don't we keep sliding around as I see you, the little virtual clock here. You got to fill the void with soccer a little bit. What's been the biggest thing you've missed about football, though, here in the fall?
Definitely just the daily grind. Like, we would have practices for hours upon hours at a time, and then go back and do it again. With soccer, the practices were a lot shorter because we didn't watch film or anything like that. So that's definitely the part I missed the most. And during it, I probably wouldn't have said that just because it can be a lot. But thinking back now, I would do anything to get that back.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys, John, I bet you would kill for a hard grinding, tiring, pushed practice from the coaches right now, right?
Honestly, yeah. It's just like kind of fun being out there. I've made almost all my friends through sports, and football being the biggest one. Just being able to go back out there and see all of them again and just push each other to work harder is nothing better than that.
Jason, same question for you.
Yeah, kind of the same as John. Like, I just miss the whole atmosphere, and I miss the people as well. Because you grow up playing sports with these people, and you see them as family at some point, and it's like these are people that you grind out like at least 2 hours a day of practice and then a lift maybe or film, and you all go through the same thing. So it's like you have that bond, and it's just kind of hard to go a whole season without that. Like, it's a family thing almost.
Yeah, and I'm old, but I'm not that old. I'm older than you guys, but I'm not an old man. I remember those high school days, and I always tell these people, like a lot of the adults will say, you know what, they're high schoolers, they will be fine. I mean, they'll get through this, but this is a tough time. I mean, I remember those are some of my biggest. I'm 33. These are some of my biggest memories, is looking back on my senior year and remembering hanging out with my friends. Like, it's a tough time to be a high school senior.
Yeah, it's definitely just different. And I say different because one thing that our coach has always told us to kind of think of it in a way is just go with the flow, attack every day the same. So you wake up every morning, you go out, nothing's guaranteed. You got to kind of work for it. Obviously, we still don't even know if we're going to have a season, but you can't just think about that. You got to treat each day as its own identity, because if you sum it all up and you're looking at why am I doing this if we're not even going to have a season, that's just going to tear you down. So it's just that mindset of attacking each day.
And John Donovan, that has to be on your minds a little bit, what Jason just said, the idea of you never know what's going to happen this winter. I mean, we are seeing surges here. I'm sure it's in the back of all your minds. There might not be football, right?
Yeah. There's nothing. Our coaches always say, control what we can control. We're not the ones dictating whether or not we're playing this season, but we can just wake up every morning and be like, all right, what can I do to prepare for the season coming up?
And Trevor Ward, everybody keeps mentioning coaches here. You're obviously still getting some messages from coaching. Are there? It seems like they're almost part coaches, part psychologists here, trying to keep you guys on the right track. Is that about right?
Yeah, they've been checking in with us a lot, and we have been able to do some form of practice throughout the fall, just twice a week, following pretty strict guidelines. And so we've been able to see them through that. And I was just also going to say the same thing as John, just control, we can control. They've been telling that to us all the time. So,
yeah. I've had a good mix here over the last few weeks of actually you guys kind of embody what this show is all about, a lot of college and high school kids and kind of community aspect. And we've had kind of a lot of your age groups on sometimes at the same time, just like we're doing today. And I just wonder, I'm going to start with you, Brian, on this one. Brian, how old are you?
21.
21. So that puts you at, what year is that in college? Remind me.
I would be a senior, but I took a year off, so I'm a junior right now.
You're an upperclassman college guy.
Yep.
I'm going to ask all you guys the same question, just so figure out how you want to answer this in the right way. But does like I said, I'm 33. I'm a bit older than you guys. I think a lot of adults and even the governor here in Massachusetts has been squarely putting the finger at like your age group of spreading this and not respecting this virus. So I'd ask you guys, are kids your age respecting the coronavirus?
I would honestly say a lot of kids are respecting it more than some adults. That being said, obviously, like people who are younger are gonna, want to break the rules a little bit more, and so like I can understand that point of view. But at the same time, when I go out to Newburyport or, I'm going outside around here, usually when I'm seeing people not wearing masks or, not practicing social distancing, it's usually folks that are older. I know a lot of people that take this really seriously. I also know a lot of people who don't. I don't know if it's really an age limit on it. I think it's more, there's some people who are skeptical and just, don't want to listen. And, I don't know if that has an age capacity to it. I think it's more of a type of person.
I think that's well said. And, I can guarantee you there are plenty of adults who aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. That's well said. Jason, why don't we go to you on that one? You want to handle that question?
Well, I mean, kind of like the same thing as Brian said, but it kind of just like you see things pop up around you, right? Like there's going to be something that happens. But the thing that I think is the best like metaphor for this is I have a gym membership at Vanguard Key Club, and just like going in on a daily basis, you see kids actually like at least what I'm saying is all the kids have actually been following the rules, like with a mask policy and stuff and cleaning stuff. And you see a lot of older people not wearing masks, like obviously still cleaning stuff, but just not giving it as much respect as the kids are. And I think it's kind of unfair sometimes for people to put the blame on the younger generation, because obviously there are going to be some people who break those rules and throw parties or do whatever, but you can't like generalize everybody for that, because it's not always the case. It's actually more often not the case for us, at least what I've been seeing with my own eyes.
Yeah, good answer there. John?
Yeah, obviously, no one wants to be stuck staying inside. Like we still want to live our lives. So, I mean, I've seen most kids are just like, they have their one friend group and they're just kind of sticking in that, the word's cohort. They're just kind of sticking in that group, not kind of like going around hanging out with like 50 different people. It's usually like 5 to 7, just same group. They're with each other for the weekends and they're not doing anything crazy.
And lastly, Trevor?
Yeah, I'd want to go along the lines of what Brian, Jason, and John all said. I think kids like my age are following the rules like in public, like they'll be wearing a mask and stuff like that. And also just with what John said, people are still obviously going to want to hang out with their friends. And so I think people have been responsible just hanging out with their cohort or specific friend group and not kind of mixing in between.
Yeah, it's funny. I was thinking about that question before you guys came on, because I actually played some tennis yesterday with my cousin, and it was right next to a high school. And as the kids were walking out of high school, it was right at like the closing bell. And I made note of it, that every single kid, and I don't know, maybe there's teachers checking them on the way out the door. I have no idea. But every single kid had a mask on. And they really didn't take them off until they went in the cars and drove out of that parking lot. It struck me that it was not like, we're free, let's rip off the masks. I thought that was interesting. I don't know. Yeah. You all handled that question very well. Thank you all for that. Let's bring it back to football a little bit. Are you at least enjoying, I don't know, does it make it better or worse that there's some college and NFL football on? John, you take it first.
It's definitely something to kill some time with. It sucks seeing other people being able to do it, but it's just another thing. I mean, I love the sport of football, so any interaction I can get with it is something I enjoy.
Trevor?
Yeah, same. It really makes you feel like you're missing out. But it's nice to at least have some form of football going on when you're not playing. So.
Jason?
Yeah, just the same as the other guys. It's just really bittersweet because, it's like you love watching it just because you enjoy it, but it's like, oh, man, I can't be playing right now, and I should be playing right now. So it's just like, it just hurts, man.
And Brian, is there no college football up there right, in Maine, right?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I'm out of town. I don't know.
It's pretty cold up here, man. I don't know.
What is it out there?
It's like 30 degrees right now.
It's like the same here. We have no sympathy for you.
Oh, really?
All right, we got a guest
okay.
here. Hang on, boys. You guys might know. We're going to bring in one final. This is like the late arriver to practice here. Hang on.
All right.
Usually, I believe they just pop in. Oh, here we go. Oh, there's an empty chair. Hello? Hey, Charlie. How you doing?
And he's muted.
Charlie, can you hear me? There we go. Ready? This is great television and radio here. You got to, as they figure out the mute button. Can you hear me, Charlie? Can we get the Jeopardy theme music going? Thank you. Charlie?
Pressure's on.
So why don't we talk about Charlie real quickly as a teammate? Jason, describe him in one word as he tries to figure this out.
This is actually the first time I've ever seen Charlie late to anything, I think.
He's a timely man, you say?
He's pretty punctual, he's pretty early.
Okay. Charlie, it looks like you were connecting. Can you hear me okay? Charlie, give me a wave if you can hear me. Uh-oh.
Oh. I feel like I know what he has to do because I think
Yeah,
I
you
did
can
something.
say join audio or whatever.
Yeah,
Jason,
exactly.
Jason, you text him, try to help him figure this out. Trevor, need to talk to Charlie as a teammate.
I'm calling him right now.
Charlie can't talk. We'll at least talk about him. Oh, you're talking to him. Very good. Trevor's great with the Zoom. He's able to kind of put it on mute. Good work. John, describe Charlie as a teammate for me.
Charlie's honestly one of the biggest grinders out there. I know last year he injured his hand, but I don't think he sat out for anything. He was still pushing hard through everything through that.
He's not great with the Zoom, as it turns out, but that's okay.
He's gonna join on his phone. His computer, the audio on his computer just wasn't working.
That's cool. Well, nevertheless, we got a nice appearance from Charlie. That was pretty funny. We are kind of coming towards the end, though, so maybe we can get a word in when he gets in. But I do want to final thoughts. Brian, I know I kind of scratched upon this a little bit with you, but I'm wondering what would be like your word of advice, because you do have a couple years on these guys, and you probably have a couple of those adult years that like you're able to separate a little bit and try to I don't know. There's more to life than these high school years. I know they're big years, but what would be the advice that you'd tell these guys to get through this kind of heartbreak of not being able to play Thanksgiving football?
Yeah, I didn't have to deal with this when I was in high school, but I did have to deal with injuries a lot and time taken off from that. One of the biggest things really is just to like, it sucks to say, but understand that it's a game, and even though like it's a grind, like you can continue to do that grind without the sport there. And it's one of those things like, you can like, I don't know, like there's other things that you can put that motivation to, and it's that feeling of motivation to do something. I know exactly what y'all are talking about. Like that type of feeling is hard to get for other things, but like especially this year, trying to focus on new things, maybe like branching out to different sports like you guys said, or maybe to music, who knows, but other things like that, trying to find that motivation to keep you going, I think is probably the best thing right now.
Trevor Ward, that sounds like pretty wise advice to me. That's a wise college man right there.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty wise.
What does any of that hit home with you though? Can you see what he's saying?
Yeah, I definitely needed that. Just hearing like it's just a game, because I think just thinking back on it and thinking about Thanksgiving's like a week away, should be playing right then and there. Like, it's nice to just remind yourself that it is just a game, and you'll always be able to watch it in some like form.
Yep, John Donovan, how do you react to that? Because I think that's good advice there from a guy who's a few years older than you.
Yeah, I'd agree. Obviously, football is a huge part of my life, but there are bigger aspects to it. I'm still living healthy. I still have family around me, so it's not the end of the world, but just a bump in the road of life.
Living
It
healthy.
wasn't even one thing I want to say is that, like I say that because, my senior year when I played football, after the end of it, it's like really hard not to be one of those guys that like looks back and always relives his high school years. It's hard not to be like that when y'all are studs like you are. And it's just one of those things where, like football will be around and, other sports will be around too. And you'll be able to still do it even though you won't be on a team. And I don't know.
That's good stuff. Hey, Jason, John mentions living healthy and family. I mean, talk about the mature answer. My goodness, so react to all that stuff. You got a lot to handle.
Oh yeah, John kind of dumped that all on me. Really big philosophical question right there. But I kind of went through the same situation as Brian this past year. Like I had a few injuries that took me out for like a good half of the season. I think the biggest thing that I learned from that was just to like cherish every moment you have, because like football is such a small part of your life. You only get it for like, most people only get it for like 4 years in high school. And a lot of people don't even play in youth. So while it's still here, you gotta treat it like it's really important because it could be gone like that. So obviously there are things that are more important than football because it's such a small part of your life. But while you still have the opportunity to play, you should definitely cherish it and learn as much from it as you can,
Good stuff. You guys all handled that well. Charlie, I think we got you. Are you there, Charlie?
Yes, I am.
Identify yourself. I want name, rank, year, all that stuff.
Charlie Kaling. I'm a senior captain, and been playing all 4 years. And I'm just excited to be able to get to have some sort of season this year.
Well, while you were gone, these guys had all good things to say about you. I heard usually timely. I heard a grinder at practice and great work ethic. These guys love you as a teammate. What's it been like missing football for you?
It's been huge because every year going into the school year, you're always just like on the football grind, which kind of brings you at school too. So it's like a routine. And going into school this year, like not being able to go out with like all my friends every single day and play the sport we love, just like really different, this lifestyle. And, at first it's getting a lot better because it wasn't looking like we were going to have any sort of season, but recently it's looked like we might have a chance at like a season in the spring.
Yeah, it's crazy times. I know. You guys, it's safe to say you're all a bunch of brothers on this team. You all genuinely miss seeing each other every day on the practice field, right?
Yeah, exactly. Especially because with this team, it's a bunch of kids who from all different types of friend groups, and like not I barely see any of these kids outside of football or school, especially during like this quarantine. You're not like allowed to see that many people. So I just miss seeing all those people that you don't really realize you would miss until it's taken away from you.
Yeah, well, I'm glad, Charlie, you got to join us here a little bit. So thanks for jumping in. I appreciate it. What a great group. Guys, real quickly, we're going to do rapid fire. So we have like 2 minutes left. You got to give really quick answers, and we're going to run through real quickly. Before we do that, I do want to say, Brian, it looks like you're doing well there on your own in college. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, good to see you too.
And for all you the high school guys here, I know it's a brutal year, and you're all conducting yourselves very well. Those were some really great answers to some tough questions, and not everybody handles well there. I know it's a tough time not having Thanksgiving. I know Thanksgiving will probably be kind of tough that morning, not having a football game, but as you all said, there's more to life, and I don't know. You all handled that very well. I'm very impressed. Your parents will all be proud. All right, rapid fire time. You ready? Trevor, you first. Favorite Thanksgiving dish?
It has to be turkey.
All right,
Yeah.
John?
Stuffing.
What was it, John? Stuffing. Okay, Jason?
You can't have turkey without gravy, and gravy is always good.
Fair enough. Charlie?
I got to go with John, stuffing.
Ryan?
3 for stuffing, baby. Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
3 for stuffing. All right, favorite quarantine activity? Trevor Ward?
Oh, I don't even know. I used to playing pass with a friend. That's the only thing you could really do.
Playing what?
Pass, like football, just like one-on-one.
Oh, okay. All right, that's fine. That works. John?
Hanging out with my dog.
Oh, I like that one. You're playing off my 2 dogs barking earlier. Good for you. Jason?
I built a gym in my basement, and I've been religious about it since. So
Look at this guy. The grind never stops. Good for you. Charlie?
Playing basketball outside.
Okay. How does that work? You guys going to be social distant, or are you just working on your jump shot?
Just like jump shot stuff. I just have a basketball hoop in my house.
Watch
Really good.
the corner 3 from that guy next year. Brian?
Oh yeah.
I don't think I should tell you.
I don't even know where that's going, but but wherever it's going, I don't want to go there. College kids. I guess I don't relate to them anymore. Good Lord. All right, let's do the final one. What is the biggest thing you've learned in quarantine? Trevor?
Just what the coaches told us. Control what you can control, because just like that, it can all just like get taken away.
John?
Focus on bettering yourself every day.
Jason?
kind of reinforced what I was talking about with like missing part of my season, but just like not taking anything for granted.
Charlie?
Live every moment to the fullest.
Good stuff, boys. Brian, last one. Oldest guy gets the last word.
All right, persistence.
Persistence. I like it. Boys, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Good to see you all. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy holidays. You all look great. We'll see you soon, all right?
Have a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Thank you. Happy
Thanks,
Thanksgiving.
guys. Live at Drew's house. We'll see you next time, everybody.